Bay Gang, it's your girl Alicia, aka Therapist Bay, and I'm so happy to be back. It has been probably a month since my last video. My last video was, of course, me giving birth to my son, Amir. And you guys, it has been a mess since then. Like, I'm sorry, but that's the only way I can describe it. Of course, motherhood has been very beautiful to me, but I will say postpartum, a mess for me physically, and some mentally too, because of what I've been going through physically. So if you've been following my journey, you know that the third trimester of my pregnancy, I had to walk on a walker because I had terrible sciatica. I'm talking about terrible, crippling, hurting, screaming, crying. Like, I could not wait to birth my son. So when he was finally born, a lot of doctors told me the sciatica would go right away. It didn't. So I had sciatica on my right leg, right, you guys? So it didn't go away. I'm talking about as soon as I gave birth, they cut my epidural off and my leg where my sciatica was just started hurting. I was like crying to the doctors. I'm like, oh my gosh, give me medicine. Like, my leg is killing me. Like, it literally feels like someone's stabbing you in your leg. That's how sciatica feels for me. So it didn't go away. I got sent home with some pain medication, ibuprofen, all that good stuff, right? And they told me to follow up with physical therapy. So I did physical therapy for like 2 weeks, and thankfully, guess what, you guys? My sciatica went away on my right leg, right? Get this. Y'all not gonna believe it. Please tell me why my left leg just declined. It went nuts. I'm talking about my left leg did the same thing that my right leg did. It just started being immobile, meaning I couldn't really move it. It was like sharp stabbing pain. And I was like, oh my gosh, how did my sciatica transfer from my right leg to my left leg? It was like the most craziest thing ever. So of course I'm going to the doctors and they're just looking at me like, you just have to do physical therapy. And I'm like, no, physical therapy's not working. Like, somebody has to medically explain how, I have sciatica on the right leg and it just moves to my left leg. And I'm talking about, so I'm still in the walker because I'm in so much pain. Can't sleep, taking pain medication. They had to up my pain medications, which who wants to up their pain medication? Nobody wants to take strong pain medications, which even interfered with me breastfeeding Amir. So I breastfed Amir for 2 weeks. After that, I couldn't breastfeed him anymore because I couldn't keep up with trying to take my pain medication and making sure that I didn't take it in between feeding him, right? Because I didn't want to pass any meds to him, but it got too difficult. So, I said, forget it. I got to focus on getting better. That's what's most important. Of course, I want to still breastfeed him, but, right now I can't. So, I had to switch him to formula. So he's been on formula ever since. I mean, he does really well. I am really happy that he was breastfed for 2 weeks. So he got some good stuff from that. But yeah, so fast forward, here we are. This is August 10th. You guys, I still have this pain in my left leg. I'm still on my walker. So what happened is I had to keep going to the emergency room because I was in so much pain. Like, I was crying from pain. And I had to go to the emergency room, and I'm telling the doctor there, I'm like, you guys, I can't even walk with my son. I can't walk my son from one room to the next because I can't walk. So it was really heartbreaking to me to be in this much pain, so heartbreaking. I would cry, just because, of course I had the baby blues. Well, I had the baby blues. I did have that for a week, but then I would just be crying just because I'm just so heartbroken that, I couldn't sometimes sleep in the bed with Amir, because Amir slept in a bassinet with us, next to us. So I couldn't sleep in my bed next to him because I would have to go in the living room in the recliner because that was just the most comfortable spot for me. So I was just crying, because I felt really, heartbroken over that. I have a newborn. I can't even bond with him in the way that I want because I'm in this pain, indescribable pain that these medical doctors can't even explain to me, don't know what to do besides prescribing medications and say do physical therapy. So like I said, I was going to the ER a lot, and I thankfully was able to get an emergency MRI to see, did I have any herniated disc, was something going on with my spine. Thankfully, MRI came back good. Nothing. I had an x-ray on my hip to see if I had a fracture on my hip maybe. nothing. No fracture. I even had an x-ray on my knee because my knee started swelling and hurting. Said my x-ray was fine. So I'm like, wow, like this is really indescribable, right? So all they kept saying was it's lumbar pain. Lumbar is, your lower back. So that's called lumbar. So they said it's lumbar pain that you might have got from when you gave birth, because I did have a mirror vaginally, so I pushed them out. So they said, sometimes pregnant women get lumbar pain, and that lumbar pain may be like pushing on a nerve. So they said that it may be lumbar pain that is pushing on a nerve, my sciatica nerve, and that's why I feel it so much in my leg, so it radiates from like my hip all the way to the side of my leg, back of my leg, front of my knee, all the way down to my ankle, my shins, all of that, right? So, okay, so they're like, you just have to do physical therapy. And I'm like, okay. So I did physical therapy, and I had to switch my physical therapist because my first physical therapist, I didn't feel like she was as hands-on as I wanted her to be. So I have switched to different physical therapists, and they have been a lot more hands-on. Like I'm doing like a whole bunch of exercises. I do it twice a week. And that has been very helpful. They do like something called like a stem stimulator, where it's like, if you've been to the chiropractor, I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. It's like these little stickers they put on your back, and it's like a little vibration, and they've been doing that. So that's been really helpful. But let me tell you what this physical therapist diagnosed me with, because this whole time that I've been going through this, none of the doctors have been able to give me a proper diagnosis, right? I've never been assessed for what this has been, right? So with this new physical therapist, they finally did a full assessment. That's where they like made me do like certain exercises, certain stretches, made me say like, they'll be like, touch your toes. Can you touch your toes? Can you lift your foot? Things like that, right? So like a full assessment. So I did that. And from that assessment, I was diagnosed with what's called SI joint dysfunction, which I was educated that is super common with women who have just given birth. Because when you give birth, a lot of times, especially if you get an epidural, and of course we all know epidural makes you go numb. So when you give birth and you're numb, sometimes when you're pushing, you can't feel how much force you're using, and that might make your nerves out of whack, might make muscles out of whack, and your pelvis also kind of maybe gets shifted. So that's especially where this SI joint dysfunction comes from like my pelvis. Pushing out my son, pushing out a human, that is very traumatic for your physical body. So that is what is going on. I have what's called SI joint dysfunction. With the SI joint dysfunction, it can press on your sciatic nerve. It can be a little bit of your piriformis muscle. So that's like a really big muscle in your gluteus. So that's why I have a lot of pain, like in my buttocks area, my hip area. It's just, you guys, I am in so much pain, like seriously. But I'm so thankful that I finally know what's wrong, because now my physical therapist assists me in doing the correct exercises that's needed to strengthen my muscle and to rehab my muscle down there with my SI joint. And the SI joint is kind of located in the back, kind of like, so mine is on my left side, kind of like right above your tailbone, I would say. So that's kind of like where the SI joint is. So yeah, that's what I've been dealing with. So I've been in physical therapist with this new therapist for like maybe 2 weeks now. And I will say I am having some improvement. I am able to do a lot more around the house, such as walk my son. So now I am able to like go from room to room and actually walk him with him. So walk with him in my hands without feeling unsafe or feeling like, my knees is going to buckle or my legs going to give out and I'm going to fall. Now I can actually do that. I have started, walking without the walker around my house, just to try to like rehab myself, to kind of, remind myself, how to walk without it, because I have been so dependent on it for like the last 6 months of my life. Let me see. So even putting on socks is much better. Like I can sit down now and put on my sock. I don't have to have Taiwan do that. I could put on my shoes, put on my clothes. I can stand at the stove for like maybe 10 minutes and do some cooking and wash Amir's bottles at the the sink for like 10 minutes. But if it's more than like 10 minutes, then it's like, my leg is like pulsating. Like I could feel that pulsating, like, okay, let's sit down. So I had to go sit down. But I think the worst thing for me has been sleeping. I really do not get any sleep, you guys, because I don't know what it is, but the pain is just way worse at night. It like literally keeps me up to like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'll just be like laying there, just like, rubbing my leg, trying to calm my nerves, just because my leg is throbbing. So, that has just not been fun, not been able to catch up on no sleep. As you can see, I have bags under my eyes. Of course, I have a newborn, so I'm going to be a little sleep deprived. But on top of this physical pain, I'm sleep deprived. So as you can see, listen, you guys, I still have my labor braids in. My labor braids, okay? I have not taken my hair down because it's just physically, like appearance wise, I'm not even like trying to focus on that right now. Like I am trying to rehab myself back to better health because I have to get back to my life. I have to get back to work. I have to make sure I'm able to physically take care of my son, right? I want to be better. Like I don't want to be in this pain, something I was worried about was I was like, I don't want to fall into like postpartum depression because of this, because sometimes, it did make me really sad. Like I said, some days I did just cry in the house, and me being a mental health therapist, I had to remind myself like, hey, let's take our mind off. Let's watch a movie. Let's call one of your friends. Let's talk to your mom, right? I would start getting those tools out of my toolbox, that I know that I have, so that I don't fall into like postpartum depression or be sad, because I just, I feel like as a new mom, you want to be proactive about things like that, and I know that me as a mental health therapist, I know that. So that's what I've been trying to do, is just be proactive about that. But I will be transparent and say I do have my days where I cry, and not just from pain. But like I said, sometimes I just feel so heartbroken that it's like, wow, this is my first child. And look what happened. Like who knew having a baby would like physically like just make me like this? Like I never would have guessed it. Like I thought I was just going to have my baby and go back to normal and go back to my life. That didn't happen. Like, no. So yeah, it's been a progress. It's been a marathon. A marathon is a long stretch, and that's how I feel like my life has been right now. It's a long stretch, but I'm taking it day by day. I have really supportive friends, really supportive family. My mom has been great. She's been really helpful. She steps in and helps me when I need help. Me and Taiwan's family has been a great help. They come watch the baby when I need them to. So I just have a great support system, and I'm really thankful for that. My cohort, my friends from my school, the DSW program at UK have been great. They made me like a video saying get well soon. That was really sweet. Maybe I'll insert that in this video so you guys can see, because that was like super dope. And every time that I'm feeling down, I go and watch that video. So, but yeah, I'm just really supportive. And speaking of that, you guys, I am still in school. I'm still in school. I just finished my summer semester literally a week ago. So when I gave birth, I had to like ask for an extension on my assignments, because I'm in a hospital. I can't write a paper, of course, right? So I fell behind like maybe 3 weeks of work. 3 weeks. So imagine how it feels to be in so much physical pain, and you have 3 weeks of work to catch up on top of the new assignments that you have. So I was playing catch up this entire month of June. Like I just was able to turn in the last assignment that my teacher gave me an extension on. Whew, it was intense. It was so intense. Like hats off to you ladies who been, going to school with kids. Like I never knew how difficult and challenging it could be. It's very doable because I did it, and I know people who do it, but it's challenging. My goodness. But yeah, but listen, so I'm in the car right now. I have this on because I just came from the YMCA. I just went to the pool, and guess what, you guys? I drove myself to the pool. Oh my gosh. That is progress, you guys. I have not drove in 6 months because I physically can't. So the YMCA I go to is literally like 5 minutes from my house. So that's why I was able to drive myself. I don't think I can drive longer than probably 15-20 minutes, but I think it was doable for me to go 10 minutes, so there and back. So that's why I was able to drive myself, and I just feel really good about that. And I bought my cane with me, so I walked on my cane. I did not walk on my walker. Let me see if I can show you guys my cane. I got a purple cane. My mama gave this to me. But yeah, so I just walked on my cane and went to the YMCA. And at the YMCA, I get in the pool and I do a lot of like leg exercises. Because when you're in the water, you're weightless, and it helps so much, because when I'm trying to do exercises at home, I have all my weight, and that can be very difficult. That can be very painful. But when I'm in the water, oh my gosh, it just feels so good. So yeah, I did 30 minutes of stretching and walking and doing some aqua therapy, and that was very helpful. So I'm gonna try to do the aqua therapy for 2 days a week. So I do 2 days a week physical therapy, then I'll do 2 days a week in the water. Well, I'm gonna do 3 days a week in the water, 2 days during the week, 1 day on the weekend. So because I'm trying to get better, you guys. Like, I'm trying to get better. I want to get better. I'm tired of being in pain. It's agonizing. It makes me just appreciate the good health that I was in, and it makes me appreciate life, period. It makes me appreciate being able to do the smallest things, like get up and make breakfast, or being able to go in my bed and go to sleep without waking up in pain, right? It just makes me appreciate so much. So I do believe that everything happens for a reason. So I believe that God is really shown me grace, even though he's definitely giving me a challenge, but I'm thankful through it all. Amir's awesome. I'm definitely going to do a video of meet Amir, so stay tuned for that. So if you're watching this video, you got to make sure you subscribe. You got to stay connected with me, you guys. Stay connected. I love talking to you guys. I love everybody, all my supporters, everyone who commented on my video, on my labor and delivery video. Thank you so much. But yeah, motherhood has been great. I mean, besides this part, but I definitely just wanted to check in, do a quick video on this. But you guys will probably see me again the next 2 weeks, because I have exciting stuff happening in the next 2 weeks. I have an event that I'm going to be a part of, like a healthcare event. So you guys got to stay tuned, because I might vlog that. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, give this video a thumbs up, comment, send me prayers. Everybody keep praying for me. I truly appreciate it. But I'm about to get in this house and go see what Amir is doing. So I will talk to you guys later. Peace.